When the Mazda CX-90 came out a few years ago, it made a big splash for offering tons of space, a fun driving experience, multiple powertrain options, and luxury car levels of features and amenities on the top trim. But with a very competitive segment, is this 2026 Mazda CX-90 Turbo Preferred still a good choice? Let's go ahead and find out. As always, let's start off by talking about the pricing and the trim level. The CX-90 comes in a lot of different trim levels with 3 different powertrain options. The base 3.3 Turbo Select model starts at $38,800. We have the 3.3 Turbo Preferred, which is one up from the base model starting at about $43,000. With destination and a few options, this one is $45,000 as tested. Let's see what is offered for the money. The CX-90 has a subtle but stylish design. Up front is a good-sized grille finished in gloss black and there's chrome trim surrounding it. There is some matte black plastic at the bottom and the headlights are going to be fully LED. They look very premium overall, but you can get a more premium setup on the top trim Premium Plus. You get an LED daytime running light, a projector-style LED headlamp which is part of the daytime running light, and an LED turn signal. I love the fading effect that Mazda has for their turn signals. I think it gives a very distinct presence on the road. Moving to the wheels, you will have these 21-inch wheels on the Preferred model with a satin silver finish. I think it is pretty crazy that this is the second trim level and you already get 21-inch wheels as standard equipment. You can also get multiple other wheel options that look pretty good in my opinion because there are so many different trim levels. Taking a look at the rest of the side profile, there is some matte black plastic around the wheels and at the bottom of the doors, inline 6 badging on the fender with a little bit of chrome, and some gloss black trim around the windows. The roof rails are going to be finished in chrome which look very premium. The mirrors look very premium overall, but they only have heating and blind spot monitoring. I do like, however, that the turn signals also have the same fading effect as the front and the back. The rear end definitely stands out the most. There is some matte black trim at the bottom with fake vents, and the taillights are going to be fully LED. Even though these are already very premium, you can get a more premium setup on the higher trim levels that make the accent lights extend a little bit farther into the back. Regardless, they are going to be fully LED with an LED brake light, an LED reverse light, and a fading LED turn signal that looks very distinct on the road. Now let's check out the interior and see what is offered for about $45,000 as tested. Now you can get a proper luxury experience in the CX-90 if you choose one of the higher trim levels, but just keep in mind that this is on the lower end of the trim structure. The door panel is going to be made of mostly plastic, but there is some full aluminum trim at the top, matte black plastic on the switchgear, and some leather trim on the armrest. Additionally, there is plenty of storage space at the bottom. The seats are made of real leather on the Preferred model, and they will have some cool accenting and contrast stitching. You get heating, ventilation, and 10 ways of power adjustment, which is pretty good for the second trim level. Now let's check out the rest of the Mazda CX-90's interior. Starting with the steering wheel, it is going to be very nice with the wrapped and heated. The buttons are finished in matte black plastic, and there are paddle shifters finished in matte black plastic as well. Additionally, there is some chrome trim at the bottom, and on the slower trim, it is going to be manually adjustable. The gauge cluster is very odd in my opinion. It is partly digital and partly analog, but it gives the appearance of a fully analog display. However, on the higher trims, you will have a fully digital display. As you can see, 2 of the 3 gauges are analog, and the one in the middle, which is the speedometer, is digital. So when I turn off the car, it is also going to go away. When it comes to materials, the slower trim CX-90 does not do the best. The upper dash and middle dash is finished in soft touch plastic, and this lower area is also finished in soft touch plastic. There is some brushed aluminum trim that goes through here, and some of the buttons are finished in matte black plastic, while these toggles right here are finished in gloss black. Also, you will find some faux aluminum trim down here, which does look pretty cool, but keep in mind that on the higher trims you can get a fully suede and leather dashboard, which is very nice. Storage isn't terrible in the CX-90. There's a little cubby right here with a 12-volt power outlet, and it is a good place to put your key fob. By the way, this is what it looks like. A very typical Mazda design. This one is actually in a leather casing, which is pretty cool. All of the buttons are located on the side, which is a little bit confusing because the key fob is very large overall, so I don't really know why they did that. However, it does feel very high quality. When you push on this piece of faux aluminum, you will find two pretty small cup holders, but there's a little pass right here for your phone. In the center console, which is split opening, you will find a decent amount of space as well as two USB-C ports and a felt lining. Climate controls are physical buttons and toggles in the CX-90. To adjust the temperature, you can use these toggles right here, push down on this to go lower, and push down on this to go higher. I don't know why you have to push down on this to go higher. I think that is a little bit counterintuitive, but that's okay. You can also use these buttons to adjust the fan speed, and you have heated and ventilated seats even on this lower trim, which is very surprising. Also, the heated steering wheel button is located right here. You also have physical tabs for your vents, which is actually something that is becoming rare in newer cars. When it comes to the main infotainment system, the CX-90 has an older software from Mazda. Overall, I think it is very user-friendly and intuitive. A lot of people portray this as very unintuitive, but it is actually very easy to get used to. There is built-in navigation as well as wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. For every other function that is not CarPlay or Android Auto, you are going to use this knob down here. It feels pretty high quality, but that is going to get you through everything on this main screen. You can also pull up shortcuts like bringing up the navigation or going back to home. When you go into CarPlay or Android Auto, that is going to turn this into a touchscreen. It does look very far away from the driver, but I can guarantee you it is a pretty easy reach. Down here, you will also find your electronic parking brake, your auto hold function, your volume knob, hill descent control, and your drive mode selector. The shifter is very odd in my opinion, but it is pretty easy to get used to. Pull on this little button right here and go to the right for reverse, go all the way down for drive, and when you go into reverse, that will bring up a high resolution backup camera. You can see that there's a little graphic right here for the parking sensors, and there's a 360 camera available on higher trims. Now let's see how the parking sensors work. We're going to use my tripod as an example of an obstacle, and it is sounding an alert and showing a graphic right here as we get closer. As we get closer, it is going to get faster and more annoying. So overall, I would say the parking sensors work pretty well on the CX-90. To go into park, go all the way up and to the left. Up top, there's an auto-dimming rearview mirror, a sunglasses holder, and a standard size sunroof. Now let's check out the passenger side on the Mazda CX-90. The door panel is basically the same with a good amount of storage space at the bottom, a leather armrest, and some faux aluminum at the top. The seats are made of real leather and they are very comfortable overall. They include contrast stitching, accenting, as well as heating, ventilation, and 10 ways of power adjustment. The dash is finished in soft touch plastic, which is normal for the price point, and when you open up the glove box, you will find a good amount of storage space as well as felt lining. The second row is a very nice place to spend time in the Mazda CX-90, so let's go ahead and check it out. The door panel has plenty of storage space at the bottom, especially for larger water bottles, an armrest finished in leather, faux aluminum, and sunshades at the top. The seats are made of real leather and they have contrast stitching as well as heating on this model. You can also get ventilation on the higher trim levels. In the second row of the CX-90, there's loads of legroom and headroom. There's also a good sized seat back pocket and the back of the seat is finished in leather. In the middle, you will find two vents, two USB-C ports, and a third zone of climate control. There is also an armrest that folds out of the middle seat. Now this model has the bench seat, but on the highest trim, you can get captain's chairs with the center console in the middle. But that's the second row of the Mazda CX-90. Let's go ahead and check out the third row next. Getting into the third row is pretty easy. Just push on this button and push the seat forward. However, I will say that the seat is pretty heavy overall. In the third row, there's plenty of legroom and headroom even for being 5'9" like myself. However, the thigh support isn't the best. For amenities, you will find two cup holders, a USB-C port, and vents on either side. This is not a terrible place to spend time, so kids should not have a problem. To exit the third row, just pull on that lever right there. Now let's check out the cargo area on the 2026 Mazda CX-90. Now this is something that unfortunately this car doesn't do very well in. Behind the third row, there's 15.9 cubic feet of space. You will also find a power outlet on the right side and hooks on the left side. Now the third row is very easily foldable just by pulling on these straps, but I would like to see a power folding third row in the future. With the third row down, you get 40 cubic feet of space, and when you fold all the seats down, you will have 75.2 as a maximum. It is definitely not class-leading, but it's still very usable in my opinion. To close the trunk, just push the button. Now let's check out this new inline-6 in the Mazda CX-90. This is a 3-liter turbocharged inline 6-cylinder making 280 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque. That is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission as well as a 48-volt mild hybrid system, and you get 24 mpg in the city, 28 on the highway, and 25 combined. Now this is the base engine. You can also get a plug-in hybrid with 323 horsepower and 26 miles of electric range, and the Turbo S offers 340 horsepower. Let's see an acceleration test. Now the Mazda CX-90 competes with other mainstream 3-row crossovers, which is in the most competitive segment in the auto industry. However, I will say with the Turbo S Premium Plus, you could easily compare that to the Acura MDX or Lexus TX. However, this model's main competitors include the Toyota Grand Highlander XLE, the Honda Pilot EXL, the Ford Explorer Active, the Volkswagen Atlas SEL, the Chevrolet Traverse LT, the GMC Acadia Elevation, and the Jeep Grand Cherokee L Laredo Altitude. Let me know your pick in the comment section down below. For dimensions, this car is 201 inches long and 78 inches wide. Well, that is going to wrap up this video on the 2026 Mazda CX-90 3.3 Turbo Preferred. Overall, the CX-90 is an excellent 3-row SUV, offering great features and amenities for the price. It also offers plenty of space in all 3 rows and includes multiple powertrain choices, including a plug-in hybrid engine. However, they could improve on the technology and the amount of cargo space offered. But what are your thoughts on the Mazda CX-90? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.